You're a trans man and you want to go to the gym for the first time. Here are the only 8 exercises I would do if I was you. I'm Sam, I've been in the industry for 6 years and I've helped over 100 plus trans guys just like you who were fed up of paying for gym plans that still left them hiding under baggy t-shirts, but they've now gone on to build strong masculine physiques and feel confident in their bodies. And I've made it my mission to help as many of you with that as I can as well. The first 8 steps to achieving that sort of transformation I'll link down below in the description completely for free. It's called the In Shape Trans Guy Guide and it's full of steps you can take action on straight away. Before I give you these 8 exercises, I just want to make one thing really clear. When I work with my coaching clients one-to-one, I'm able to look at the details that they give me about themselves, their goals, and the gym that they'll be going to help them create a training plan that is completely bespoke to them. There might be exercises in this video that if you were working with me one-to-one, I might not pick for you. However, for the purpose of this video, all I can do is take my own personal experience in the gym and combine that with my experience of being a coach and make some generalizations on what I believe for a lot of you will be the best 8 exercises that you can do in the gym. So in at number 1, we have a machine chest press. Now, whenever we talk about a machine, first of all, I have to preface that the exact machine that you're using is going to be key here because not every piece of gym kit is made exactly the same. Every single chest press that you use, Hammer Strength, Nautilus, Matrix, and not just the brand, but also the exact model, means that what you experience will be different from another make and model. And that's one of the reasons why when I do work with a client one-to-one, I make sure that I know exactly what bit of kit that they're on to make sure that if they do have multiple chest press options, we can pick the best one for them. However, even knowing that all chest press machines aren't made equal and some will be better than others, I still like the idea that someone that's stepping into the gym for the first time, and let's be honest, as a trans guy, is wanting to build a big, strong, sculpted chest, they're going to be doing a chest press that allows them to stay locked into a fixed position, which when you're brand new to the gym, dumbbell chest press, barbell bench press, they have their place, but you're not locked into a fixed path, and when you're new, you might find yourself wobbling all over the place. However, if you use a machine, you're not going to be able to do that. However, alongside of this, what I've also had to take into account is that we're only picking 8 exercises. Now, basically any gym plan that you do, if we're training chest, for example, we're going to have multiple chest exercises in there, but I've only got space for 8 exercises. So I've had to really try and pick out exercises that I know are going to give us the best possible challenge. For example, if you were to do only a dumbbell chest press, you wouldn't be getting a challenge to that muscle at every single part of the exercise. So when your arms are out here, there's actually no challenge to your chest when you're doing a dumbbell chest press. It's only when you start to lower down that chest then starts to begin to have to deal with the challenge. However, when you're using a machine chest press, it doesn't matter whether you're here or here, there's always going to be some form of challenge to the chest. Doesn't mean it's always the most appropriate of challenge. Again, that comes back to what bit of kit are you using, but there will always be a full range challenge. The term full range challenge, I do have to give credit to RTS for that. Just a little bit that I'm going to put in here because credit where credit is due. Okay, so we've done chest, so now let's flip around and talk about back, because as a trans guy, I'm pretty sure you want a thick, wide, defined back. And with just one back exercise, you're not going to do that, but we have to start somewhere. And for that reason, I have picked the lat pull down machine. If we wanted to be really specific and start biasing different parts of the back, then we'd need to start looking at different handle attachments. But for now, as a beginner, just wanting to go in there and train the back and not necessarily care what areas are being biased over others, then that traditional lat pull down with the palms down grip, just outside of shoulder width, is going to be a really nice place to start for a lot of people. Yes, it's a lat pull down, so we're going to be getting some lats in there, but we're also going to be looking at the traps, the rhomboids, and some rear delts as well. Now with our chest press, we're going to be covering the front of the delt. With our lat pull down, we're going to be covering the rear delt, but what we do want to make sure we're doing is getting some direct work for that side delt. And that's why I've picked out a single arm cable lateral raise. Now, a lot of beginners are drawn to the dumbbell section, and it's not that dumbbell lateral raises are bad. There's no such thing as a good or bad exercise without knowing the context. But if we use that principle that I spoke about with the chest press machine, where we're talking about the fact that a dumbbell chest press doesn't give us a full range challenge, that term that I use that we give credit to RTS for, We can also have that problem with a standing dumbbell lateral raise. See, when you do a dumbbell lateral raise and you're standing up, when your arm is down by your side, your delt is in a really nice stretched, lengthened position. However, the resistance isn't offering us any challenge to the muscle. It's only as we start to bring our arm out to the side and that delt starts to shorten that we get some challenge to that delt. It doesn't mean that dumbbell lateral raises don't have their place, but if I'm only able to pick 8 exercises, I've got to find things that are going to give you bang for your buck. And a standing single arm cable lateral raise is going to give you a challenge regardless of whether your arm is down by your side or out here at your side. In at number 4, we have got a body weight crunch. Why have I gone with body weight? Well, you're new to the gym, so you might not yet be ready to go on to a machine crunch or a hanging leg raise. You might be, but generalizing, I'm going to start you with a body weight crunch. When it comes to building abs, the most important motions that you're going to go through is spinal flexion and extension, and that's exactly what we're going to be hitting when we're doing a crunch. And again, this can be progressed. I would probably start you out with just go for as many good quality reps as you can. If you're getting to the point where you can do 15 reps plus on all of your sets, then you're going to be ready to take it up. Now, you might just simply hold on to a dumbbell and go for a crunch on the floor with that. You might look at some kind of knee tuck. You might look at a hanging leg raise, or maybe even go up to a machine crunch. But this is going to be the foundation, the starting point for that spinal flexion and extension. Okay, let's talk about arm training, because let's be honest, I think as a trans guy, or just as any guy, arms is 99.9% of the time the thing that we really want to train and focus on, because who doesn't love big arms? Now, I've picked this exercise because you can set it up wherever you are. Any gym is going to have dumbbells. And it can also be tailored to fit your structure. So I'm talking about a dumbbell curl. Everyone that performs a dumbbell curl is going to need to perform it slightly differently based on their structure, based on things like shoulder width and also carry angle. But the reality is that basically any gym that you go to, you're going to be able to do a dumbbell curl. And I also think that it's a great starting point to then progress onto other curls further down the line. Taking that thought process into the triceps and then thinking about what's going to be easy to set up, what's going to be doable in basically any gym across the world, and what can be fit to make the person that's doing the exercise be able to perform it well for them. So when it comes to the triceps, I'm thinking about a single arm cable pushdown. Most gyms across the world have got 2 things at least: dumbbells and cables. With a single arm cable pushdown, doesn't matter on your height, your limb length, whatever, this is something that we can get to fit you. So I think in at number 5 and number 6, my 2 go-to arm movements for most people who are new to the gym would be a dumbbell curl and a single arm cable pushdown. Okay, finishing up with number 7 and number 8. Let's be honest, most of us are not that fussed about training legs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of having massive masculine quads with big sweeps on them that I can see when I cut down, but actual leg day, I hate. I talk about this a lot on Instagram. This one always gets DM'd from people because there's some of my followers who love leg day, but me personally, I am not in that crowd. However, I know that I've got to train them if I want the result that I want. So of course, we're going to get some leg day training in there for you. In at number 7, I have put in the leg extension machine. Once again, I have to preface here, just like I did with the chest press machine, the exact make and model of your leg extension is going to matter here. And if you were a one-to-one client and you came to me and you had 2 different leg extension options, obviously the one that we pick is going to be really important. Right now, I don't know about that for you personally. I am just having to generalize, and I think that the leg extension for most people is a great starting option because it allows us to focus on training knee extension in a controlled, fixed path, which will then allow us in 3-4 months' time to go on and look at some kind of a squatting pattern. Which lastly takes us into the same way of thinking, but this time instead of looking at knee extension, we're looking at knee flexion, and I have come up with the seated hamstring curl. Now, not only does this keep you locked into a fixed path, which for a beginner is great, the reason that I've gone with seated over lying or standing is that when you first hop onto a lying leg curl, for example, you might find that your hips start to rise. And sometimes that can be because the weight's too heavy, but sometimes it can also be because it's just a brand new exercise that you've never done before and your body's just not really sure what's going on. And as a newbie, it can be harder to control. So if we've got that pad that's locking you into a seated position, I think it's a better option for a beginner than a standing or a lying leg curl. And again, this just allows you the space to work on that movement, progress it over time, get stronger at it, more confident at it, and at some point look to add in a hinge movement like an RDL or a barbell deadlift or even just a 45-degree hip extension. And it's not like you're going to take those two exercises out once you do add in a squat pattern and a hinge pattern. Your leg curl and your leg extension are probably still going to be in your plan anyway. It's just the foundation that you can then add those other two types of exercise on top of. So those are the 8 exercises that I believe that you should focus on if you're a trans guy who is brand new to the gym. And remember, if you want another 8 tips to go alongside of this video, the InShape Trans Guy Guide is linked down below in the description. And as always, I will see you lot in the next one.